All right, greetings. I'm going to show you how to use Tracker. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so I'm in your lab class, and if you, of course, after you do your acknowledgement, it should unlock the content. And I've only got 3 labs in here so far. But I will have, eventually, we'll have 8. If you go in the first lab, this PDF shows you how to go about doing lab 1, but it also shows you how to use Tracker. So everything I'm about to show you is also in this PDF. And so the PDF is kind of long, but you see it's mostly just pictures. All right, so, but in here, you also have the link to Tracker. So if you follow this link, it'll bring you to this site, and you can install Tracker by clicking on, if you're using Windows, or if you're using a Mac, or even if you're using like Ubuntu Linux or something like that. But I suggest you use, this will download an installer. See, if I click on this, it will start downloading an installer up here. And I'm not going to download it because I already have it, and I've already got it downloaded, and I've already got it installed. So once the installer downloads, it's you see it's an executable file. So your computer might give you some kind of a warning about it being an executable file. Just don't worry about that. Just continue and download it anyway. There's nothing wrong with it's not contaminated. There's nothing wrong with this Tracker analysis tool. There are alternatives to downloading it, but I'm not really familiar with how to use those other versions. So I'm going to be showing you how to use the downloaded version, and assume you've got it downloaded. So once you have it downloaded and installed on your computer, and you have some of the videos. See, I've got these videos that are here for you to download, and these videos are very short. Well, once you have the videos and Tracker, you should be able to start taking some data for your labs. All right, so this is what Tracker looks like. First thing you have to do is come over here to open a file, and I'm going to choose File Chooser, and I'm going to go in here to Physics 1 and just pull out one of these videos. So all right, so these are this is one of the videos from Lab 1. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. So notice in every video I have to have some kind of ruler, something of known length. So you see I've got a meter stick back there, and also my wood plank. If you notice, it also has numbers on it. So this wood plank is a 1 meter from its left edge to this rightward rightmost line. I didn't put 100 on that one, but that's how you can see that's also a meter. So I could use either one of these things later on. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute. So the first thing I want to do is just play my video. So I've got a play button right here, and I'm going to just play it and wait for the cart to show up. Oh, there it is. All right, so now I can go frame by frame with these buttons. You see, this tells you what frame I'm on. I'm on the 87th frame of the video. And I want to just go back a couple frames. Say right there. All right, so I'm going to start going to start analyzing this frame here when I see the cart. And so to get it to start on this frame, I go here to clip settings and enter the start frame, which we determined is 83, right? That's what the number is down here. So we're going to make that the start frame. We're going to start analyzing that frame, and let's see where we end up. About right there. So let me back up a couple of frames, stay right there. So this will be the last frame at 108. So we'll analyze all the frames in between 83 and 108. Okay, I'll show you how to use this step size later on, but right now we can just keep it at 1. All right, so that's the first part of our setup. The next part is to actually use this ruler that I've got in the background. You see that Excel has no idea how big anything in the video is, right? It doesn't know if you got a video of cars traveling down an interstate, or if you're looking at something in my lab, or something that's going around a meter, or you might have a video of a snail creeping along, right? So the tracker, the software, has no idea how big anything is in the video. So we have to tell it something in the video and of known length. So that's why I have this meter stick. So this is called the calibration. So I'm going to use this calibration stick and put it at the ends of my meter stick. And see how it says 1 meter? I could use something else, but since I've got a meter stick, I know it's exactly 1 meter. I'm going to use that, and I can zoom in and put these exactly and try to be precise, right? So if I zoom in, put it right on the corner, and then zoom in on this one and put it right on the corner here, so I can be sure that is exactly 1 meter. So I'm trying to be careful about what I'm doing so that I end up with decent results. Because if I don't pay attention, if I'm careless, then what I end up with is not going to be very accurate, and it won't be right. And so we need to make sure that we do this correctly. So try to be careful. So, all right, so the calibration, so we've got the clip settings set, we've got the calibration set. The last thing we need to do is to actually put in the coordinate axis. Now you see it automatically just puts it right there in the very middle of the screen. And this is, my y-axis and my x-axis. And basically what I want to do is just put this over here. That way this x-axis is pointed along the track. And you see how it's slightly tilted. And that's not because the track is tilted, it's because my camera is slightly tilted. So I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so that it lines up with the bottom of the track. And now I can use this x-axis as positions for this track, for this cart riding on the track. All right, so now that I've got all those three things set up, the clip settings, the calibration stick, and the coordinate axis, now I'm ready to start taking data. So first thing I need to do is rewind. So I hit this button, and you see it takes me back to the starting frame. And now I'm going to come up here to track, and new, and point mass. So this is what we're always going to be using all semester long, the point mass. And I need to pick, I'm going to find a place on this cart. And you see this is a word, actually says Pasco. And you can almost see the last letter, 0. I mean, not 0, but O. Right there. So I'm going to try to use that. I could use something else, but I just want to make sure I pick the same point on the cart every time. And and not just put it anywhere. You got to try to pick the same spot on the cart. So I'm going to pick this spot right here. All right, so to indicate the spot, you need to hit the shift, right, the shift on your keyboard and hold it down. And when you do, your cursor will turn into a bullseye. So I'm not sure if you can see that on the video. I'm not sure if it keeps up with my cursor. So as soon as you mark a frame, the position of the cart, you see how it goes to the next frame. And every time this thing is going to speed up a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. This is the constant velocity cart. It's not speeding up. These should be the same distance every time, or really close to the same distance. So you can see as you're collecting data, it makes you a table, and it also plots it up here. So we're not interested in the Y data. The Y is up and down, and this cart is obviously just moving in one dimension, one direction, horizontal, the X direction. So we don't need this plot here. So if you come here to plots and choose just one, now it's just keeping up with this. And we can actually come up here to this Y data, and I believe there's some way to get rid of that column, but I'm not really sure how to do it. So anyway, I'll just continue to plot here, mark positions. Only got a few more frames to go. All right, so you can see I've got a nice straight line. And every time you see a straight line on a position time graph, that's what this is, that lets you know that that object is moving with constant velocity. Okay, and so now that I've got my graph, I can go up here to view, and the very bottom says data tool analyze. And now I can I can fit a line, an equation to the data. So that's what we have down here. And now that I have this line fixed, I can just read off this number here, 1.306, and that is the speed of my cart. 1.3, excuse me, 1.3 meters per second. Okay, so there is how to use Excel. I mean, sorry, not Excel, Tracker. Okay. Now, if I wanted to use Excel to make this plot, I can close this window. I can export the data here. So go to File and Export and Data. And I can choose what data I want. So I don't want any Y data, so I'm going to uncheck that. And you see, you can't check T. It always gives you the T data. But I have X, and then I can save this as a text file. So I'm just going to hit, cart data. I can close that, and I'm not going to save this because I've already done it somewhere else. Oops. Okay, so there's how to use that. And if I go and find that data that data file that I just made, here it is, cart data. So now that I know where it's at, I'm going to open up Excel. This is Microsoft Excel. And I can ask Excel to open up the text data. I just need to go and find it. So desktop, and here. And you notice, I know my file is in here, but you notice how it doesn't show up, and that's because Excel is looking for Excel files. So you have to come down here and click on all files, or at least text files, and then you'll be able to find your text data. Notice it's going to be saved as a text document. So now I got my cart data, I can open it up and hit next and finish. And there's my data. So I can now get the same plot by highlighting these and coming over here and doing this XY scatter. There's my plot. On Excel, if you right click on a point, you can add the trend line. So this is what the data tool, this is gonna fit a line to our data. So if I hit display equation, and you see it gives me the same thing. Let me blow this up so you can see it. So there's the equation of a line that fits the data, and you see we got the exact same thing, 1.3 meters per second. All right, so there's how to use Excel. I'm going to stop this video, and if there's any questions on how to set up Tracker, please let me know, and I'll address them. Okay, I think that's all I need to say. So I'll see you next time.